Okay, so we wanted to talk now about abilities. When we say can, so when we talk about abilities and possibility, that means that we can tell someone about the skills that we know how to do, things, activities. What do we know? We have knowledge. We can do something. So we're using that verb can with that activity, the action. So it could be maybe we can play an instrument, or we can speak another language, or we can fix something, or we can do something. So you're letting someone know that you know how to do it. If you want to say the opposite, you would say can't. I can't speak Portuguese. I can't speak Spanish. I can't fix a car. I can't fix a computer. So we're talking about abilities and possibility now. So if you have a look, let's have a look at some of these activities. Change a car wheel. So do you know how to change the wheel on your car? Usually men, yes. For girls, we are very bad with this.
Easy.
It's easy?
Yeah.
Good. So if we ever need to fix our car wheel, maybe because there's a flat tire, the wheel doesn't work anymore, you can fix it, you can change it. So you could say that you can. That's a skill. That's something that you know how to do. You can do yoga. So if you've learned how to do yoga, you went to lessons, then you can say I can do yoga, or I can't do yoga. Yes, for like maybe meditation, that's different. Dance salsa, some people can dance really well and some people cannot. Knit or sew. So that means you know how to make clothing. Yeah. Play a musical instrument. So that's an ability, that's a skill. Play tennis, swim, ski, sing, run, ride a bike. So these are all activities that we have to learn how to do them before we can do them. So that's what we say when we talk about what do you know how to do? What skill? What activity do you know? Take good photos. Type fast. So especially when you're typing, a lot of people can and a lot of people cannot do that fast. And use an Excel spreadsheet. So that's people that maybe with business or with maths, or they know how to So, okay, we're talking about those few skills. Let's have a look at some conversations. So we can see that there's a woman, and what do you think she would say? So we're going to listen to an audio and you're going to add in the missing words.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first one, we've got a woman and a man. And the woman says, I something speak Italian quite well.
Okay.
And the man says, lucky you. I'd love to something speak Italian. And then we have conversation two. Okay, so let's listen to these two conversations about people speaking about what they know how to do, what they can do. Because that's another word for can. It means that you know how to do something. Okay, so let's listen to two conversations and fill in the missing words.
4.12. 1. I can speak Italian quite well.
Lucky you. I'd love to be able to speak Italian.
2.
When I was a child, I could draw really well.
Really? I've never been able to draw.
Okay, let's listen one more time because that was probably fast.
Can or can?
Yeah, because the positive can and the negative can't. So you have to push that T to show I can't do something. But also in the past, you would say I could. So be careful when you're talking about when you're young, I could do something. Okay, let's have a listen one more time.
4.12. I can speak Italian quite well.
Lucky you. I'd love to be able to speak Italian.
2.
When I was a child, I could draw really well.
Really? I've never been able to draw.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. In the first conversation, the woman says, I can speak Italian quite well. So we just used can, so subject, I, you. If you're talking about someone else, he, she, it, or we, or they, can. And then what's the verb? I can speak Italian really well. I can dance really well. I can play the piano really well. Okay, I can write really well. So we just use can to show that we know how to do something. Now, in this conversation, he says to her, lucky you, I'd love to be able to be able to speak Italian. So we can also use this other way. Instead of can, we can say be able to. Yeah, they're the same kind of grammar. So he says, I would love to be able to speak Italian. So you can say that as well. I can speak Italian. But when you say would, it means you're imagining that you could do it. So it's not you know how to do it. You're imagining that you would like to do it. It's like you wish. Because it has the would like. So just be careful because it's subject. I would like to be able to speak Italian. So he's showing her that she's very lucky. She knows how to speak Italian. So in conversation 2, the man says, when I was young or when I was a child. So when you're talking about, not now in this moment, now I can speak it English well, I can draw very well, I can swim. But when in the past, you have to say could. So when I was young, I could, C-O-U-L-D, I could draw. So then we have the skill, I could draw really well. So maybe now he doesn't know how to do it, but he's telling someone that when he was young in the past, when I was a kid, when I was young, I could draw really well. And she replies, really, I've never, so this is a negative, I've never been able to draw. So this is how you say it in the past. If it's a negative, I've never been able to swim. I've never been able to speak another language. I've never been able to, whatever skill it is, I've never been able to fix computers. I've never been able to drive if you didn't have that opportunity. Okay, so these two conversations, we know that you can use can in the infinitive or present perfect. So we can say can. And be able to means the same as can. Okay, so you could say, I can draw very well, or you can say, I am able to draw really well. So it's just a different grammar, but it's the same meaning. And it doesn't matter, they're both very common. So I can, I'm just going to make up a sentence. So I can swim, okay, really well. It's the same as saying I am able to swim really well. So you just have can or be able to, because it's I am able to, you are able to, he, she, it is able to, we are able to, they are able to. Yes, both the same. You could use whichever one. It's a very common way to show someone you know how to do something. Okay, so now you're going to write about what you can do really well. So if you have a look, we've got, you're going to write something about you would like to be able to do well. So remember, when you use would, because you're imagining that you wish you knew how to do something, maybe you've learned to try something, but you've never been able to because maybe you never had the opportunity, you didn't have money to do it, to learn how to do something. Maybe something that you've learned to do after a lot of effort. You can talk about, what did you put a lot of time and effort into learning how to do something? So for example, your English, you're spending a lot of time, you're spending a lot of lessons learning. Something you can do, but you'd like to be able to be better at doing it. So you could say, I've already started to do something, but I just need more practice. I need more time. Or you can talk about something you think all young people should be able to do before they leave school. So you're writing about what you can. Remember, we use can in the present, and could for something in the past. So you were telling me, Ariel, if I have a look at the post, remembering that ability means that what we know how to do something. So we've learned how to do it, not just, some people are very natural and they can do something very naturally, like they can sing without any lessons. They're just very natural. But usually when we say can, we're showing that we've learned how to do something. We've had lessons, we can play the guitar, we can play the piano. So with can, remember when we talk about when we're young, when we were in the past, we say could instead. So let's have a look at what you wrote. So you said, I think, we don't want to practice should. So I think I would have liked. So remember, if you want to show that you wished you knew how to do something, so is that what you mean? I think I would have liked to learn English when I was young. But I'm going to take off I think, because that means you're not very sure. So I think you're very sure. You're saying I would have liked to learn English when I was young. Okay, so would have liked to learn English. Now, it's not the same grammar that we learnt in our book, but we could say I would, have liked. It's only because you talked about the past. But in the present, something that you would like to be able to do now, or in the past, I would have liked to learn English when I was young. So that's a good sentence. I could have tried to study the piano. So I could have taken piano lessons. So we don't study an instrument, we take lessons. So I could have taken piano lessons. I can play tennis. That's good. I can play tennis. So we use can when we're talking about what we know how to do now in the moment, like now, present. So I can play tennis. And so when you add another action, you say, and I am able to swim and play the guitar. So I'm going to put, I can play tennis and the guitar. And I am able to swim. So I'm going to keep the two verbs play with the same activity. I can play tennis and I can play the guitar because we play an instrument. So full stop. I would have liked to learn to dance. So I'm going to separate what you're telling me by, let's talk about in the past first, and then talk about now, but not mix it, talk in the present, then go back to the past, talk in the present, because it becomes confusing. So that last sentence, I'm going to put it with the top one. So, yes. Yes. So I would have liked to learn English when I was young, and I would have liked to learn to dance. Yep, good. So that's two actions you wished you knew how to do when you were young. I would have liked to learn English when I was young, and I would have liked to learn to dance. I could have taken piano lessons also. So now you're talking in the present. Now I can play tennis and the guitar, and I am able to swim. Okay, good. So try and always keep your time. If you're talking about what you wish you knew how to do when you were young, or what you know. When I was young, I could play soccer. Now I can't. So in the past, we use could. Okay, now we have Julieta. Very short. You want to add more? It's a very short. No? Next time? You add. Okay. That's okay. I would really like to be able to skydive. Good. So we use would when we imagine what we wish we know to do now in the present. So I would really like to be able to skydive, but I can't because I don't have the courage to do so. Good. Very perfect sentence. So I like that you said, I don't have the courage. That means, that you're a little bit frightened, it worries you, it scares you to do this action. But you're saying, I wish, I would really like to be able to skydive, but I can't. And good, you're using the negative. We say can't when we don't know how to do something, but I can't. And you said, why? Because I don't have the courage to do so. Good, it's a short sentence, but it's perfect. So perfect. And show you that we also use can. Remember, can is now in this present moment. I can do something. I know how to do it. And could was in the past. I could do something when I was young. I could play basketball. I could make lots of crafts. I could speak to many people. Maybe now you can. But we use able to when you know how to do something that's very difficult. So for example, if it's in the past, you would say, I was able to fix computers when I was young, because that's a very hard thing to do. But now I don't know how to do it. I was able, you hear a lot of people say, when I was young, I was able to make lots of friends. But what do they say now? Not really, because now they're an adult, they find it hard to make friends. So then we also have am able to, and that's in the present. So now I'm able to make friends. So if you want to show that now you can do it, we say able to. So now I know how to do it. Now I'm able to make lots of friends and I'm able to speak confidently. So you could say, when I was young, I wasn't able to speak English. But now I am able to speak English because you have taken English lessons and learned how to do it. So in the past, was able to. And then if you now know how to do it, you say, now I am able to do something. So learn a new skill in 20 hours. It was Malcolm Gladwell, the popular writer on modern psychology, who popularized the idea that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to really master a new skill, such as playing the piano. But in this non-stop world, who has that kind of time? In his book, the first 20 hours, Josh Kaufman tells you how to learn any new skill really quickly. By completing just 20 hours of focused practice, you'll be able to go from knowing absolutely nothing to performing well. But is it really possible? Matt Rudd, a Sunday Times journalist, decided to give it a try.